So today we're going to talk about a new stock that I have bought. I bought this stock a couple of weeks ago and I'll tell you the reasons why I'm buying it. So I hope you enjoy the video as always, guys, and let's get started. And as always, if you do want to know what I'm buying and selling in real time, the place to be is on Patreon. That's where you get my live buy and sell alerts. So you guys on the Patreon know I bought this stock a few weeks ago, and you've probably seen a few weeks ago when I did, or 9 days ago to be exact, I did the stocks I'm buying January 2024. You would have seen that I said I bought a stock, but I'm not saying it just yet because I only bought it a couple of days ago. So that stock that was the kind of mystery stock that I was buying, it's this stock right here. And this stock is called Evolution AB. So this is actually on the Swedish stock market. You can get a dual listing on the US market as well. So because of that, I'll always stick it in my US portfolio. So this stock has been a very good performer since becoming a public company. If we actually zoom out a little bit here since it came public, especially in the last couple of years, you can see the stock has come a 10-bagger. Since that time frame, around 2021, a lot of valuations, as you know, went sky high, and since then this stock has had a bit of a pullback. Then had a bit of a rally up during 22 into 23 as a lot of stocks rallied up, but recently has been taking a bit of a break on the stock price, and with it being on that bit of a dip, I have bought some shares. 22 times earnings, so you can see here it's profitable and it's a market average valuation, and we'll see if that justifies it in a few minutes when we look at the financials. And you'll be able to see here that there currently is a dividend yield as well, so it is currently paying a dividend. So Evolution, what is Evolution? So they create games. So if we actually go onto their games, you can see here they do live casinos, live game shows, slot machines, and they offer a lot of these iGaming products for a lot of companies. So if you were to go to someone like a 888 Casinos, and these are all the partners here, DraftKings for example, DraftKings is actually one of their partners. So for someone like a DraftKings for example, if they wanted to offer some games, it's very hard for them to create the games and manage all the games. It's a bit of a headache. So what they do is they go to someone like Evolution who provide the games, and then they offer their live casino product for DraftKings, and DraftKings are able to offer these products. So it's a lot easier for these businesses, rather than taking it in-house, to go to someone like Evolution who manages it for them. And as we've seen, iGaming at the moment is growing massive, and that's why this company has done very well. If we start looking at some of the financials here, you'll be able to see here that they operate in a lot of countries. So they operate in Europe, Asia, North America, and Latin America. So there's good coverage in a lot of areas here. This is very different from, say, a DraftKings, which is just North America based. Evolution does have access to a lot of markets here. Now, obviously, as we know, Europe is a little bit of a slower growth area, and that's a very mature area at the moment. We've got Asia, which is actually the fastest growing part of the business, and also could come the biggest part of the business. We've got North America, which obviously as well, we've seen the likes of DraftKings, for example. We know iGaming is very much in the early stages in America and has a lot of potential growth as well, which is exciting. And this is what I really like about it. You've got that kind of mature area in Europe, you've got a fast growing area in Asia, North America. Obviously, the reason why the growth looks a little bit slower in North America at the moment is because there's not that many new iGaming states that have come online. But you look at the iGaming, the expansion that could have in the next few years is very exciting. And also Latin America. I actually listened to the conference call, and Evolution actually came and said that Latin America is actually their biggest opportunity in the next few years. So you've got that area as well. So you've got a good amount of geography here where they could expand to. And then when you look at the recent financials as well, they're very good financials. You look at operating revenue, that was actually up 19%. EBITDA was up 22%, operating profit was up 21%, earnings per share as well was up 22%. So all these numbers here are looking very good for the company. And they actually said in this time frame, the biggest issue that they've actually got is actually going to the demand. They cannot supply the demand quick enough. So that's the big thing they're trying to do, is they're trying to ramp up a lot of the studios to provide these games so they can actually supply for their clients, because at the moment they are having so much demand for the products they can't supply, which is a very good problem to have at the moment. Now, at the moment, you can see when we talked about the company's valuation, the company trades at 22 times earnings. Now, what I've just shown you there is a company that is growing 20+% with all the profitabilities moving in the right direction as well. So for me, I look at these numbers and these are very, very impressive numbers. And also when you look at the TAM, this is not a slow growing TAM. The TAM for this company is massive. You've got this fast growing area in Asia. North America has mass amounts of states that's still going to come on with iGaming, as we know from DraftKings, and Latin America is potentially another big market that's coming up. So the area for the market growth in the next few years is going to be huge still. And you look at the numbers they're doing, and they're pretty impressive numbers when you do look at the financials. Now, like I said, the growth alone is going to be very good for the company, and I should see some good share price return if they can carry on growing from these financial point of view. The other thing as well is that you look at the company and you'd think, well, the company growing at 20% revenue, 22 times earnings is not that bad at all. And that's as well when you look at the discount it's currently trading on. So if you actually look at, and I'm sorry because this is slightly behind a paywall here on Y charts, but if you actually look at the moment, the history that Evolution normally trades at is an average of nearly 40 times earnings. So this company normally trades at 40 times earnings, and it's currently sitting at 22 times earnings. Even though if the growth slows down, even if it trades at less of a premium than what it normally does, I think it's safe to assume that a company that's doing these financials normally trades at a bit more of a premium. So apart from also factoring very good amounts of growth, it's also trading at a bit of a discount to what the company normally trades at. And when you do look at the company and the revenue growth and the profitability, it looks very impressive. You can see why this company was previously a 10-bagger. Look at the growth in the revenue and look at the growth in the profitability. I mean, the profit margins are just absolutely insane, which is what I really like about this business. I mean, imagine a company that's throwing this amount of profitability off in the business. Now, the thing that I will say, and I did do a full video on the stock request on this, and I do go into the risks a little bit more with this company. It's about half an hour long. But what I will say is that normally when you do have a company that is throwing off this amount of profitability, there does come the aspect of, is competition going to come in? And I think there is competition starting to slightly come into this sort of industry, which is something to be careful of. But when you do look at the company and the partners they have a lot of their very good partners that you would want to have, and obviously there would be some switching costs for them to switch across to new platforms and put the new games in. And as well as that, Evolution do have some exclusive titles, so when you do go on their actual games, you could say they have like games like Deal or No Deal, for example, and they also have games like Monopoly. So there's kind of some exclusive titles that they do have on Evolution. But obviously, very good amounts of profitability, and what that means that when you look at the balance sheet here, the financial health is absolutely amazing. There's no debt on the balance sheet, as you would expect. And obviously, when you're throwing off that amount of cash, they like to use a lot of cash for acquisitions to expand the studios, and then they can offer a lot more games to the clients. So they do spend a lot of their cash through acquisitions. As well as that, there's a lot of cash that does sit on the balance sheet. And what they have started doing is they have started paying a dividend. So you are going to be collecting a dividend that will probably hike up in the next few years. They're able to buy back shares, which is really attractive. And when you look at the insider point of view, on the current dip, what would you like to see? You'd like to see some insider buying. And what do you have with Evolution? You have a little bit of insider buying going on. So you can see here the CEO actually did pick up some shares. You can see here the CEO did pick up 100,000 shares. And if I do convert that from the Swedish currency into US dollars, obviously that's 99 million. That does work out as 9 million US dollars, which is pretty good to see the insider and CEO buying a good stake inside the business, which is definitely a very good confidence boost as someone that's buying into the stock. So yeah, I really like Evolution. When I look at the business, I'm getting it on a discount, on a share price, on a historic valuation. It's cheap. Buying back shares, great dividend yield. You look at the company throwing off good growth, good amounts of profitability, great balance sheet. The insiders are buying shares. I like that. Obviously, the only thing that really made me nervous with this is the kind of Gang vibes. Now, obviously, this is totally different from Gang because obviously the growth is good, but the profitability they're throwing off is something that Gang only wish they could do. Insiders buying in a great balance sheet as well. So that gives me a lot of confidence. And also what gives me confidence is that they have good diversification with the revenue that's coming in. Being in all of these different countries and markets is definitely something that I really like. Obviously, there's always the risk that when you are a kind of picks and shovel play, that some of these partners that you do have, at some point, does DraftKings walk away and then go look at someone like a Playtech, for example, and go over there because they're cheaper? I guess there's always that risk, but I guess with every business, you can always say there's a risk that a certain amount of customers leave them or a certain partner leaves them. I guess that is probably the biggest risk that I do see to this, is that if a partner was to walk away from them. But if they've got a product that is doing very well, that people are or customers are queuing up, where they've got so much demand and they've got that reputation. I think that's a big thing. You know, I think a company that, like a DraftKings, for example, wants to go with, you know, they don't want to have that reputation of games that end up glitching or going down. I think they will not go for the cheaper one and risk the reputation. If they're going to switch, it has to make sure the product's right. So I guess Evolution, because they've got that reputation and all the big partners at the moment, you know, if DraftKings carries on continue and all these other companies continue growing, I think they should do very well. So yeah, I look at the business overall, I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I guess the only other thing that you have to weigh up is competition, but hey, you know, nearly every single investment that you make, you're kind of weighing up competition, aren't you? So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's got everything that you would like when you're investing into a business. So yeah, I did buy a bit of a start position inside the business. I don't really want to buy too much higher than where the current share price is. So I wouldn't mind Evolution if they can, or if the share price can. If it could go a little bit lower at the moment, if it could have another 10-20% drop, that's where I would like to double up my position if I can inside the business. So I know people find that strange that you buy a business and then you want it to go down, but I want it to go down so I can get it cheaper. And if I can get it cheaper, I feel like in the longer term, when they carry on growing the profitability and the revenue, I will have a lot better average and I'll make more money on it. So yeah, I did buy a starter position in Evolution, and from here I am hoping it does go down a little bit more so I can double up my position at the moment. But I thought I'd let you know about that one anyway, guys. So yeah, nice and short and sweet. If you wanted more of a detailed version, I've got a half-an-hour video version on the Patreon, and apart from that, I hope you have a good weekend. This will be the last video. I'll come back on Monday anyway. Unless you are on the Patreon, I'm probably going to post 2 exclusive videos on there anyway for you guys. But yeah, thought I'd let you know on that one anyway, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.